Picture this. Across the streets of Johannesburg, voices ring out with a unified demand: action now, or watch the entire nation grind to a halt. Imagine youth groups, civil society organizations, and political activists standing shoulder to shoulder, delivering a message to the highest office: fix this now, or we shut down everything in 14 days. That's what a powerful coalition is doing. They've issued a 14-day ultimatum to President Cyril Ramaphosa, a clear demand for immediate steps on youth unemployment, a freeze on electricity price hikes, removal of corrupt officials, and full transparency in government spending. And the threat is real: peaceful but massive shutdown, nationwide marches, business closures, transport disruptions. The streets will speak for the people. "We are tired of empty promises and recycled speeches," says the coalition spokesperson, Thabo Mahlangu. To understand what this means today, we need to travel back in time to see how the seeds of this moment were sown. South Africa has long wrestled with soaring unemployment, especially among youth, which now sits stubbornly high. Add to that the constant strain of load shedding, the relentless power outages, and the rising cost of living all colliding at once. These chronic challenges have simmered for years, along with frustration over corruption that seems to reach every corner of government. Activists and ordinary citizens alike have grown weary, feeling betrayed by empty rhetoric and systems that refuse to change. In the past, protest movements like the 2023 national shutdown have shown the power of collective mobilization. That demonstration captured headlines around the world as roads were blocked and ordinary life was disrupted for millions. Many saw it as a wake-up call, but others viewed it as only a temporary venting of anger, with no structural changes following. Now, this new coalition brings a sharper, unified message. It's not just protest. It's a declaration of no confidence, a demand not in months or years, but within 14 days. The youth unemployment crisis looms large. Young people entering the job market today face an uphill battle. They've been promised skills programs, internships, and economic recovery plans, but very little of it has translated into actual job opportunities. The coalition's demand isn't vague. It's a call for urgent, tangible action: investment in youth enterprises, reskilling initiatives, and stronger pathways into work. Without that, frustration is boiling over and risks spilling into unrest. Electricity tariffs are another flashpoint. South Africans are already strained by load shedding, and on top of that, electricity bills keep climbing. The coalition wants a freeze on tariff hikes. They argue that while promises of energy reform are made, households and businesses are punished financially. A tariff freeze would be a lifeline, even while the broader energy crisis needs structural solutions that go far beyond temporary fixes. The demand for removal of corrupt officials cuts to the heart of the trust deficit. It's one thing to fight corruption in speeches, but quite another to remove individuals from power who have abused public office. The coalition calls for urgent dismissals, insisting that unless visible action is taken, corruption will remain embedded, poisoning public confidence. Transparency in spending rounds out the list. Citizens are asking for clear, open accounting of where public money goes, because every hidden contract and every shady tender fuels anger. Greater openness would help ensure government resources are used to rebuild trust and actually serve people, not line private pockets. Supporters of the ultimatum argue it represents organized pressure in the democratic spirit. The 14-day time frame reflects urgency. Leaders like Mahlangu are effectively saying, "We have tried polite engagement. Now we demand answers." People who stand with this movement see it as a peaceful but powerful wake-up call for a government that has become complacent. Critics, however, argue that a 14-day ultimatum is unrealistic. They warn that shutdowns, even peaceful ones, can harm small businesses, daily wage workers, and supply chains. They ask, why threaten shutdown instead of working through established legislative and institutional channels? The presidency so far has remained silent publicly, though insiders hint at an impending crisis meeting. Analysts say this puts Ramaphosa's leadership to the test. If he responds decisively, perhaps announcing a targeted youth employment package, a short-term freeze on electricity hikes, and a transparent investigation into corruption that could defuse tensions. If not, the grassroots movement could expand, with spiraling economic impact and growing political risk. Every day that passes without clarity heightens the sense of tension, as if the nation is holding its breath, waiting for either dialogue or disruption. Possible scenarios vary widely. In the best case, the president acts within the 14 days, announces credible, swift measures, engages with the coalition, and avoids disruption. In a middle scenario, he acknowledges the demands, holds talks, but delays real action. The shutdown may be postponed but not cancelled, leaving uncertainty hanging in the air. In the worst case, there is no meaningful response. The shutdown proceeds as planned. Social unrest escalates, economic instability grows, and the political fallout deepens, potentially shaking the very foundations of Ramaphosa's presidency. The stakes are high. Citizens want a government that listens and acts without delay. This 14-day ultimatum is a statement of impatience with politics as usual. And while shutdowns are disruptive, history shows they can shift national conversations. Every march, every closed business, every bus that fails to run sends a political signal louder than speeches in parliament. It reminds leaders that power ultimately flows from the people, and when the people speak in unison, ignoring them becomes politically dangerous. As the deadline approaches, what does this moment reveal about civic power in South Africa? It suggests that when people organize, articulate clear demands, and show unity, they can move the needle. Government can no longer afford complacency. The ultimatum is not just about 14 days, but about decades of frustration boiling into action. Whether it sparks change or collapses into another cycle of promises will reveal much about the nation's future. If you found this exploration valuable, support this channel, hit subscribe, share your thoughts below, and let me know what you think will happen after those 14 days. Will action follow? Will streets speak loudly? Let's keep this conversation going. Thanks for watching.